So what is monitoring and evaluation and learning? We consider this a very important part of effectively delivering projects because it helps you to demonstrate results and to learn from the activities and experiences that you have in the project. So monitoring is defined as the systematic and routine collection of data on project resources, activities, and results. And this includes a routine monitoring of progress towards a project's targets and your expected end of project outcome and the overall impact that you're hoping to contribute towards. Evaluation is the periodic assessment and analysis of the project's resources, activities, and results. And this can help to assure or inform the design of the project and help you to make decisions adaptively as you lead the project. Evaluations are really helpful to help you achieve impact because it means you can change course if you see that there is a need for that. And then learning is the process through which evidence and information is reflected upon and used to address any evidence gaps and identify what's working and what's not working. And this can help you to continuously improve your ability to achieve results, both in the project, but also in the conservation and development sector more broadly. So learning can go way beyond just the life of the project and should really be considered for sharing even more broadly. So why do we have such an emphasis on monitoring, evaluation, and learning? Well, first of all, just to kind of go a bit more into detail on those three components, you can think about it as a cycle in the lifetime of your project. So, most projects, even if you're not very familiar with monitoring, evaluation, and learning, you've probably been doing this just naturally as part of your project cycles. Most projects do have some element of collecting data and then analysing that data. And I'm sure many of you meet with your teams to reflect and learn and think about that data and what it means to you. One part of the reflection and learning process is also going one step further and like assessing how your approach has been working so far. And with the new evidence that you're collecting through all this data analysis, with the monitoring component and the discussions that you have in that learning and learning and reflection component, you can then evaluate: are we on the right track? What could we do to improve our approach? And then you can refine your objectives into the next part of your either your project cycle or even just your planning for projects in the future. So just to kind of cover the main points here, that MEL is essentially an approach to promote evidence-based learning and to improve your project design and implementation. It helps you to communicate the project's logic and its results to the stakeholders that you work with, but also in the context of Ocean, to the Ocean Expert Committee assessors who will review your application. It helps you to use the available evidence to make sure that your planned activities are appropriate and they're more likely to have an impact. And it helps to identify the key objectives and important gaps in your knowledge so you know where to focus your data collection and focus those resources on what's needed to monitor your progress, but also to fill any gaps in your knowledge. And yes, as I mentioned, this usually consists of having regular analysis and reflection on your findings to support your planning and decision making. So in the application for your partnership grant in Ocean, we ask for 3 different elements of MEL to be included. And this is to help support that development of a strong MEL approach from the beginning. So we ask for a pathway to change, which is a written section of the application form. And this is a narrative about how you expect change to come about through your project's activities. We also ask for a theory of change diagram, which is uploaded as a PDF to the application portal, and a logical framework or log frame, which is uploaded as a Word or Excel document to the application portal. And for the log frame, we have a particular Ocean template, which is available on our Ocean FlexiGrant portal. So for details on each of these, you can refer to all of our guidance documents, which are on the Partnerships Grants page of our website. And we will also cover them in more depth today during the webinar. So once you're awarded a grant, there will be certain reporting requirements that you will have. It's really important to emphasize here that the reporting that we're asking for is essentially to help you to monitor your projects, and we are designing our reporting so that it's not overly burdensome, and we're very open to receiving any feedback on any of the reporting templates that we set out. So it's simply that we'll be asking for projects to report every 6 months from the start date of their project. Ocean will provide the report templates on a regular basis, so these will be updated, and we will adapt them based on any feedback that we get from you. We'll also have, so the first report that you would be expected to submit upon being awarded a grant would be your half-year report. So this is your first chance to let us know how things have been going in that first 6 months. And that will be a 2 to 3 page document, just letting us know if you've been experienced any challenges or if there are any differences to what you set out in your work plan. And then 6 months later, you will submit your first annual report. And this is a more detailed update, and it will include you updating us with your progress against your log frame. We'll get into more about what kind of things you need to consider in your log frame. But the annual report is just that it's building onto that reflection and analysis period. So it sets you a deadline to start to think about what you've learned in your first year of implementation. So you, with the half-year report and annual report, depending on your project length, this will continue on an annual basis, reporting 6 monthly with these two formats. When your project ends, you'll be asked to submit a final report within around 3 months of your project ending. And we want to help you in your monitoring, evaluation, and learning. So what we will do is provide feedback on your annual and final reports. Independent evaluators will have a look at these and let you know if they see any possibilities for you to improve your log frame or improve on your reporting. So we hope that that feedback will really help you to have a successful and a very impactful project. At the program level, as part of, so as you know, as Valentina mentioned, as part of the Blue Planet Fund, Ocean will monitor its contribution to Blue Planet Fund objectives. So grantees are going to be asked to monitor and report their contribution towards Ocean and Blue Planet Fund objectives, and this will be built into our report templates. At the moment, the Blue Planet Fund is developing key performance indicators to track progress of these outcomes, and these standard indicators are being developed for use in late 2024. Once we have that final list, we'll be able to share that with grantees, and this list of standard indicators and methodologies can then be adapted to your project log frame. But we'll be available to support in giving advice on how to best integrate them. To give you a just general idea of what these indicators are likely to cover, it will be covering the 4 main themes of the Blue Planet Fund. So this would be climate change, loss of biodiversity, marine pollution, or sustainable seafood. You might also expect to find some standard indicators around the general 7 outcomes of the Blue Planet Fund, which are listed here. So I'm sure that there'll be some areas which are very relevant to your projects and that you'll be able to report against. You won't be asked to report against all of these as well. It's going to be what's suitable and relevant and feasible for you to report in your own project context. And then coming to in-person reviews. So some Ocean projects will be selected for in-person and/or hybrid reviews to support the overall MEL of our programme. And the purpose of these reviews is really to promote learning. So wherever possible, if you have any needs, we'll be wanting to support grantees with that. So these reviews should be considered a kind of collaboration, and you tell us what you've learned through your project and if there's any challenges, and we'll be there to provide advice. So a monitoring review would be around 2 to 3 days. The reviewer would be visiting the project team for this time, and just to learn more about what's going on in the project and provide any support if needed. The midterm review is a slightly longer form of review, and it will likely include a visit to some of the project's implementation site. And then the independent evaluator for the Ocean programme may also visit. It's really important just to let you know that with these visits, we would definitely be in touch with you in advance to agree a suitable time so that it doesn't interfere at all with your ability to implement your project. So this will be a collaboration on the scope and depth of the review and where you want to visit. We'll be asking you to really propose what you think would be the most beneficial use of that time together. And then coming to monitoring, evaluation and learning in the budget, our finance guidance will let you know that these costs of monitoring, evaluation and learning should be allocated to appropriate budget lines. So this could be in staff costs or consultancy costs or any kind of travel and subsistence costs related to your monitoring and evaluation systems. We expect to see M&E costs of around 5 to 10% of your total budget. So make sure that you have considered this in your application. This figure can vary if you can demonstrate good value for money and a robust approach to your monitoring and evaluation plans, then that would be fine. Just make sure that this is proportionate to the scope of your project, because this will be something that the Ocean Expert Committee will assess when they're reviewing your application.